Now, about the Ryan case. This show was born in part from our working relationship with the Lower East Side Tenement Museum. We spent 18 months researching these historical facts. Mid-1800s. Tens of thousands of immigrants come into Manhattan. A lot of these poorer people are moving into the Five Points neighborhood. Landlords built housing called tenements in soft, damp earth. Right away, property started to shift and fall apart. The streets are covered with dirt. There's no pavement. There's no sanitation system, so sometimes you'd have trash and waste of all kinds up to 5 feet high. The major mode of transport was horses. Thousands of horses and horse manure everywhere. Dead animals lying on streets decomposing. No one is coming to take any of it away. By the late 1850s, nearly 2 million Irish had left their country due to the potato famine, moving into large American cities like Boston, Philly. In New York City, a lot of them moved into the Five Points. It was the cheapest place to live. The Ryan siblings lived in one such tenement. Living conditions were hard. You could have up to 14 people living in 300 square feet. No running water indoors. You'd have water pumps out in the back by the privies, the outhouses, that are in some cases being used by 20 to 40 families. Alcoholism was a pandemic. Either rich or poor, you drank alcohol. Water was unsafe, so even children were accustomed to drinking alcohol as it was processed and safer than water. There was a lot of anti-foreigner sentiment. The rapid influx of immigrants scared native-born New Yorkers, often concerned that people would take their jobs, bring disease, and then there was the ever-present danger of racial mixing. Prostitution. Every major street in the Five Points had a brothel. Along with prostitution comes the world of vice. And yet immigrants like the Ryans had a better quality of life here than back in the old country. Here there was more food, and if you worked, you could feed yourself. In many cases, if immigrants found decent work, they could eventually save money. Immigrants are used to self-preservation. You rough it for a while, and hopefully, eventually, save money, you move out, provide for family back home, open a business, purchase land. The Five Points was the very first example of the great American melting pot. A thriving community of free blacks, Irish, German, Chinese, Italians, Jews, all cohabitating in a very small, densely populated area. This new experiment in many ways broke old traditions, concepts, and ideology, and in the process created a new world. And if you would now please focus on the center of the spiral. Focus on the center of the spiral. Focus on the center of the spiral.
Congratulated all of those who came before me, and that in no other country on earth, all free men. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
To fight on the beaches, to fight on the land and ground, to fight the field, to fight